5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hey, what's up everybody, and welcome back to Bitcoin Chaser for your next segment of the Bitcoin Chaser News Live at 5. We're on the Bitcoin Chaser website. It is fantastic to be here with you all. Thank you for joining me. I hope you're having a fantastic Wednesday. It's the middle of the week, so we got to make sure that we're ready for the rest of the week by taking in all the information we can about Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, blockchain, and we're going to be taking a look at all the new news and information that has come out on the Bitcoin Chaser website. We're going to be having a look at some cool, interesting stuff, such as the Japanese mining firm GMO stops mining Bitcoin Cash. Bitmain launched a new version of their Antminer S9, which is the Hydro version, a water-cooled version. We're taking a look at some information about the Turkish Lira, which dropped. We're going to be taking a look at the ICOHub. We're going to be taking a look at Bitcoin Chaser's free Bitcoin sites and information. And we're going to be having our Son of a Chain segment, which is going to be really interesting. And today we're featuring the perils of holding coins on exchanges and what you as a person that is considering doing that has to come to terms with if you're not going to be holding all of your funds with your own private keys that you have your own access to. So we're on the Bitcoin Chaser website. We all know it by now. We've been doing this for quite a while. There's lots of cool news and information that comes out every single day on Bitcoin Chaser that you can always come and check. Remember, everything down in the description below has awesome resources for you to click our links and come and view these articles and information at your own pace, which makes it really easy for you if you're watching at a later stage. You can then go and read up more in depth on what we cover now. Now, taking a look at the cryptocurrency markets, that's a steep drop right there. Something has happened, right? So let's take a look here. Bitcoin down 4.67% in the last 24 hours, still holding the $120 billion market cap. We got Ethereum down 10% at $259. We saw that Ivan on Tech recently released a video talking about even Vitalik has some stuff to say about that Ethereum's lifespan could be shortening, or that at least coins are not particularly forced to use the Ethereum blockchain in order to make their ICO or their currency successful. And that is obviously causing people to look all over cryptocurrency, not just focusing on Ethereum. So we are seeing a bit of turmoil there. XRP down 8.83%. Damn, right? That's really not good at $0.330. That's $12 billion. Bitcoin Cash, which we're going to be talking about soon, at $567, down 11.4% in the last 24 hours. We're looking at EOS, now 11% down, sitting at $5. I remember about 8 months ago, I was taking a look at EOS, and it was at a similar price range, which is interesting that we're back there again. Stellar down 2%, holding up a bit better than the other coins in Bitcoin at 21 cents. Litecoin, you know, kind of the same thing as it's always been. Looking back about a week from now, we're almost at the same kind of price range at $62. Tether, I mean, it's always sitting exactly the same, you know, $1. Cardano at 9 cents, down 10%. Really not looking good this week for Cardano. And Monero, also a similar fate, up from last week, but realistically down 7% in the last 24 hours, sitting at $125. Now, we're going to be taking a look at our Japanese mining firm GMO, which stopped mining Bitcoin Cash. Whoa, you know, stuff's happening. Sometimes coins can go lower than a profitable margin when mining, and big firms that are offering a lot of hash power in the petahashes decide, you know, maybe it's not as profitable right now as we would like. And that's what we're going to be talking about now. So Bitcoin Cash prices have taken a dive, as we all know. You know, this really is the bear market that we're in at the moment. Electricity is paid for in fiat, right? And if the coin's price goes down, the margin after paying the utility bill gets thinner. This is why GMO, one of the leading Japanese mining outfits, has discontinued its mining service for Bitcoin Cash. So with GMO, you can no longer operate a mining system for Bitcoin Cash. Trace Mayer of the Bitcoin Knowledge podcast revealed that GMO did not mine on the BCH chain during July, And BCH mining peaked at 287 coins in February and decreased to a low of 62 coins in June. GMO mined 0 Bitcoin Cash blocks last month, and the firm may start mining BCH again in the future if the price goes up or looks a bit more profitable. So it's not done. It's not like they've thrown in the towel. It's not gonna work. You know, they're just looking at it from a profitable perspective, and they're saying, you know, at the moment it is not profitable. If we can deem that it is once again becoming profitable, they might look into it once more. Right, so as per the reports, GMO intends to see its operations scale to 3,000 petahashes per second by December 2018. That's a lot, despite the weak market conditions. The firm claims that its hash rate for the month of June and July was identical. GMO is set to develop the B3, which is expected to achieve a hash rate up to 33 terahashes and dominate Bitmain's recently launched Antminer S9 that can go up to 14 terahashes, bearing in mind that the Antminer is also now capable of up to 18 terahashes with the Hydro, which we'll be talking about in a second. Despite the fork scandal and the report that GMO stopped mining BCH, Bitcoin Cash is still the 4th largest cryptocurrency by market cap, so we cannot forget that. Following Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Ripple, Bitcoin Cash has a market cap of over $9 billion and is trading with a range of $530 to $650 over the last few days. So this is the Japanese mining firm stops BCH mining, and that mining firm is called GMO. You can read more about that in the link in the description below. Taking a look at the comments now. Guys, thank you for watching. I hope you're enjoying it so far. If you have anything interesting to say or any comments to add, please feel free to do so. I'd love to hear from you guys. I'd love to start up and flare up a conversation. It also allows us to live stream for a little bit longer because we can talk about a lot of stuff. Right, next we're taking a look at the Bitmain Antminer S9 Hydro was just announced and launched. This is interesting. A mining rig that is water cooled. We see it all the time in mainstream gaming rigs or gaming setups where the actual GPU rigs are water cooled in order to better performance and allow for further overclocking at a more sustainable rate. Now, obviously, Bitmain, being the big corporation that it is, was definitely looking into water cooling, because why would you not look into something that has proved to work in a similar market outside of mining when you're talking about providing processing power and rendering performance and all sorts of stuff like that for GPUs. Now we're looking at pure hash rate for something like a mining rig. So let's take a look at this. Bitmain announced the launch of the Antminer S9 Hydro, a water-cooled version of its popular S9. Remember, the S9 is capable of 14 terahashes a second. This Antminer is designed to work on the SHA-256 algorithm that allows users to mine Bitcoin as well as Bitcoin Cash and other smaller cap coins. So it's not just for Bitcoin, it's for other coins as well, such as Bitcoin Cash. Interesting that we just spoke about GMO stopping their service for Bitcoin Cash mining. A reliable, efficient, and secure mining device that is less noisy and consumes less energy. A welcome feature given the bear market. So how exactly is the Antminer S9 Hydro different? Well, I think the most obvious part is that it's a water-cooled system. It has a hash rate of 18 terahashes a second with a power consumption of 1,728 watts an hour. So relatively high power consumption compared to something like a 1080 where you're looking more towards maybe 500 watts an hour, but nonetheless 18 terahashes a second, 4 terahashes per second more than the S9 that we were taking a look at, the Antminer S9, which can go up to 14 terahashes. Now we're up to 18 terahashes with water cooling, so a relatively high performance boost there. The 8th new product by Bitmain in 2018, so this is their 8th product of the year. It is assumed that using this system, mining farms can reduce approximately 12% of their power consumption, which is quite a lot. Remember, when you're reducing your power consumption by 12%, you're effectively improving your bill at the end of the month by 12% less. You're paying 12% less for power on a device that is mining more and providing more hash power. Interesting enough, it's increasing the return on new rigs, definitely. It trims down noise to 20 decibels. Water cooling is slightly more quiet than air cooling. depending on what kind of air cooling you're using. But I mean, relatively the boost for that to have a noise reduction of 20 decibels to someone who has 5,000 hydro rigs, minimal, right? It's noisy nonetheless. This is probably for someone who has 5 to 6 or 1 in his house, and you don't want to walk in and sound like you're at the beach, right? So the S9 hydro hash rate is going to be determined here. So for the first time ever, Antminer S9 Hydro is adopting the most innovative water cooling design available for heat dissipation, thanks to the customized and high precision water cooling module. S9 Hydro can support the direct introduction of an outdoor water source that meets the water quality requirements and quickly cools down the computing boards and other components inside the miner. The S9 Hydro holds a great amount of potential, which may possibly help Bitmain reclaim crypto mining markets. The report says Bitmain Mining is preparing for an IPO listing on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange, scheduled for either Q4 of 2018 or Q1 of 2019. Its IPO will have twice the size of Coinbase's IPO and is looking to exceed Facebook's by approximately $2 billion USD. So they're obviously talking about their overall value. Now that's very interesting that they're trying so hard to reach that number. Obviously, every business wants to improve, but coming out with a product like this, then going into an IPO kind of boosts the potential that your IPO has in a market where you're looking for some sort of funding, right? Next, we're going to take a look at what it looks like, right? So because it's nothing without what it is and looks like. So taking a look at the S9 Hydro here, we can see it here. Really, we're looking at a water cooling rig that is, it looks like it's from 2010 realistically, but that's how mining rigs look. I mean, if we take a look at something like the GTX 1080 Ti water cooled version, I mean, a lot more of a sex appeal here, but why would you want the miner to look good? I mean, sure, there might be a market for it if a guy's trying to showcase his mining rig with 10 rigs and they all look really sleek and sexy, but this is what the S9 Hydro will look like. So those gaming fanatics that are mining, not really something appealing, but performance orientated, very much does a better job than the regular Antminer S9. Next, we're going to be taking a look at the Turkish Lira drop. Makes the case for Bitcoin, and we're going to be talking about that soon. But first, we're going to be having a look at our Son of a Chain segment, who's talking about the perils of holding coins on exchange accounts. Now, just before I get into that, I just want to check how you guys all doing in the stream today. I hope you're having a good one while watching here. I see that we have a couple of viewers all on the stream. That's great. That's absolutely fantastic. Feel free to drop any comments, guys, at any time. Now, the perils of holding coins on an exchange. Let's take a look at that.
The perils of holding coins on exchange accounts. Almost 5 years after the Mt. Gox heist and after numerous other cases of theft on exchanges, many still keep their coins on exchange accounts. Even though it is convenient to keep coins on exchanges because it allows users to engage in trading, the dangers of doing so are often overlooked. Those who keep funds on exchanges are probably more focused on the prospect of making money than they are worried about security issues and other problems that their choice endangers. I am not a trader, so I do not face these security dilemmas. Nevertheless, as a holder of Bitcoin and other altcoins, I can say that following Satoshi's advice regarding general operational security keeps me and my funds safe. The main point that anyone who reads Satoshi's work should gather is the most obvious one: coin ownership is determined by who holds the private keys. If you trust a third party with your private keys, then you are going against the basic principles that Satoshi laid out for us all. Apart from the whole coin ownership issue, when you leave your coins on an exchange account, your funds are often exposed to a single point of failure issues because the exchange can't secure its systems or databases properly. There are also other attack vectors that a malicious actor might recur to. One of the most popular attack vectors these days is phishing. This kind of attack takes advantage of users directly through their relationship with the exchange. Service providers don't have a lot of tools to deal with phishing attacks because the attack focuses on the user's side. Nevertheless, anyone who understands that keeping funds on exchanges and using exchanges at all exposes them to risk should operate with an increased level of awareness if they need the service that the exchange offers at any level. Users should keep the bare minimum that they can on exchanges. They should also enable some kind of two-factor authentication mechanism, although these are not bulletproof. Finally, users should work to secure as much of their earnings on hardware wallets by taking the funds off of the exchange periodically. Again, the only guarantee when it comes to cryptocurrency is to handle your own private keys yourself in a responsible manner. But if you can't afford to do this, raise your awareness level and come up with a plan to curb your exposure. Remember, the next large exchange hack could probably be underway. Don't get caught in the hacker's net.
Right, so that was Son of a Chain. Interesting points. They're talking about how when you have your coins on an exchange, you're actually subject to more of a risk because there is one entry point for a failure of security, and that can result in a deficit of your funds. On the other hand, he's talking about phishing scams, which are harder to kind of mitigate because on a phishing scam, it's using the user against himself. Basically, you get an email saying that maybe your account has been compromised, please change your password immediately. You go through the process. It's actually a glorified fake URL. You enter in your login information in an attempt to first confirm your password before changing your password, and bang, you've given them your password. They take a few seconds. They've already gone onto your account, submitted a withdrawal, disabled your two-factor authentication. Stuff like that happens all the time, and it is on the user's part that makes it's used against the user rather than against the exchange. So it's harder to mitigate something like that happening, and that was an interesting point by Son of a Chain. He also mentioned that to be the safest that you can, if you still want to use an exchange for trading, for flipping your coins, that sort of stuff, periodically to actually make a withdrawal of those coins into some sort of wallet that you hold the private keys to, or a hard wallet that you can store and maintain the security of as your own device, rather than falling claim to a phishing attack, which is very interesting and a great piece of advice there from Son of a Chain. I completely back that up. Now, taking a look at the Turkish Lira, imagine being a rank and file individual in Turkey who has a normal life by any measure. You're going about your business when suddenly the price of every single imported good doubles after your government picks up a fight with the most powerful nation on earth over the incarceration of a US pastor you have nothing to do with. Unless you have a hedge, you are subject to the whims of two populist leaders. This situation makes the case for Bitcoin, and here's why. So taking a look at a bit of background. Now remember, the link to this article is in the description below, and the best thing that you can do is in your own time come absorb all this information fully to get the best understanding possible. We're just breaking it down for you. In Turkey's case, we have heard of leaders across South America declaring that the US is launching an economic war against them. In some cases, like in the case of Greece or Cyprus a few years ago, cash withdrawal limits are also imposed to prevent bank runs. So the Turkish Lira, widespread fear among... So taking a look at the Turkish Lira, widespread fear of more sanctions due to a political spat between Erdogan, I always get that wrong, it's so hard for me to pronounce his name, Erdogan, and Trump pushed the Turkish lira into a downward spiral. His impulsiveness worsened the situation, urging people to sell every dollar they had and buy Turkish lira, which had the opposite effect. The Turkish lira plummeted. People, or at least those with the means to do so, were acquiring more dollars and dumping their Turkish lira holdings. The price of the lira in terms of USD is down 26% so far this month. Now, then it goes into the case for Bitcoin, which is a very interesting read, but also very long and thorough. And to have the best understanding, you're going to have to come and absorb this information yourself. I'm just directing you to a really interesting article. Next, we're taking a look at the Bitcoinchaser ICOHub. This is some cool resources available to you here. You have the ability to view the ICO news, which is right over here. You can see Ubix postpones ICO until September. Kick ICO, another smart contract hacking scandal. Facebook's adjusts cryptocurrency ad policies. We can see some ICO analysis here. We can also see some stuff about the LGBT token. We can see an interview with Vertex. Very cool stuff. If you click on one of these links, you're then redirected to the featured ICO placement section, which in this case is the Vertex ICO, which is a unique ecosystem for investors, the community, and ICOs. This is very interesting. Vertex is an ICO aftermarket, enabling people with the ability to purchase sold out RCO tokens at a preferential price, and they go through a rigorous vetting system in order to vet RCOs and their potential in a market, and then go and help those RCOs achieve their funding by also giving them access to communities within the Vertex platform that have already gone through KYC. So it's like a one KYC for all kind of purchases of RCO tokens in one, which is great. You know, only having to complete one KYC and being able to operate within a market is fantastic. Identity fraud, identity theft are all real problems that we're seeing at the moment, and it's a great thing to see that they're mitigating that. Now, you can also go to the upcoming RCO section, which gives you the ability to categorize the information presented by RCOs and provided by RCOs in order to find the RCO that's best applicable to you. That is a mouthful. So we can see we can summarize everything by all the RCOs listed on Bitcoinchaser, which is good. But what we can also do is we can list the RCOs that include a whitelist. So if you want to be notified of an RCO launching, you come to the whitelist section. If you're looking for airdrop information and you're looking for airdrops happening currently, you can go to the airdrops. And you can also view other stuff. So if there's an airdrop and a whitelist and a bounty, you can see that. If you're looking for bounties, you can also click on that. You can see RCOs that require KYC, which most of the time happens. And you can also go to the more info section, which features interviews and stuff like that. So ongoing RCOs is much the same, but we're categorizing RCOs by their proximity to their end date rather than their proximity to their start date, right? So we can see Ubex ends on September 30th, GenEOS ends on December 23, Orca ends on September 6th. And if we go to whitelist, same thing applies here. You're able to categorize this information. And you can also take a look at completed RCOs, which is interesting if you kind of want to see what happened to the RCO that you were interested in. If you want to find quickly a quick navigation link to get to that RCO, you can come here and have a look at that. You can see their details, or you can go straight to their website. Some very cool resources provided by Bitcoinchaser here. Next, we're taking a look at a bit of an interesting piece for anybody anyone gunning for some free Bitcoin or the ability to receive some kind of bonus within a casino, you know, no deposit bonuses or RCO airdrops or Bitcoin faucets, Bitcoin casino faucets, Bitcoin affiliate programs, all this sort of stuff. This is where you can find that information. If you go to something like Bitcoin faucets, we've just added some new resources available here to you. This is very cool, very helpful stuff. So Bitcoin faucets, we're using the faucethub.io account mechanism in order to allow you guys to quickly access faucets that we have already verified that are working, rather than having to risk trying to use a faucet with like a health of 30, if you're familiar with the Faucet Hub list. But what you can do here is you can either gain access to a written article, which will give you guides and information on how to create your Faucet Hub account, plus a video with myself on how to do that. But once you've created your account, you can basically view this next tutorial, which shows you how to make use of this faucet list over here. It's very cool because you can claim every 1 minute on some of these, every 5 minutes, and then every 60 minutes. And this kind of gives you the ability to go through this list at your own pace and just quickly, you know, claim that free Bitcoin, make money, make dollar, make money, make dollar. You know what I mean? That is the Bitcoin faucet list on Bitcoinchaser, a great additional resource there. Taking a look at a quick overview of some software that you can have a look at if you're interested in downloading some kind of extension application in order to help you track and follow the progress and changes in the cryptocurrency market, as well as trending news and information. You can download CryptoLab by 99 Bitcoins. It's available on the Chrome store, and this allows you to see the 24-hour change, market cap, and price of the top 10 market cap, the top 50 market cap, the top 100, top 500, and top 1000. So if you're like, you know, you're a serious guy about trading, you know, I need to know everything, you can go down and you can see what new coins came into the 1000 market cap. You know, right here we have Web at 1 cent. You know, if you're really serious about it, down 27%. You don't want to fuck with that shit. Right, next we're going to be taking a look at the homepage of Bitcoinchaser. Remember, we can access news. We can go to Bitcoin and have a look at Bitcoin guides. What is Bitcoin? Buy Bitcoin, Bitcoin events, Bitcoin apps, free Bitcoin and cryptocurrency news and information like the who's who in crypto. and blockchain, we can take a look at the ICO, which we had a look at. And if you're into casino and sports betting, you can take a look at that. Unfortunately, Theo, our sports betting guy, was unfortunately feeling a little bit sick, and as a result was a little bit frustrated trying to get the video to us today. Shame, he was trying really hard, but he will be here next week. His link to his Twitter is down in the description below if you want to go take a look at Theo Goodman. It's TheoG__ on Twitter. He's a really cool guy, really involved in the sports betting side of crypto and the world, basically. He's global, very cool guy. Go check him out. And that is the end of our news live at 5 with myself, BroKaine and Bitcoin Chaser. Did you guys enjoy this video? If you did, hit that like button directly in the nose. Boom, give us a like. If you want to see more videos like this, you know, be notified of when we go live. If you're watching offline and you're like, damn, I wish I was live, I would have added a comment like, Kane, how dare you say that about this coin? You know what I mean? Hit that subscribe button. You'll be notified of all our new videos. If you're interested on how to use the myetherwallet.com website in order to create a Ethereum wallet and send and receive Ethereum, view ERC20 tokens, contribute to a smart contract, understand gas, all that sort of stuff, we've just released a new series. We're at part 2 of 3 of that, and that next video will be coming out later this week, and you can go and keep up to date with that. If you guys would like to give some advice on how we can improve the live stream, if you find that something is a little bit irritating or annoying, leave it down in the comments below and we'll be sure to address that. Have a fantastic week, guys. Almost at the end of the week now, almost weekend. Get through this bear market. We're going to make it to the end. I'll see you guys next time. From myself, BroKaine and Bitcoin Chaser. Bye-bye.